Welcome to the channel and to this 2,000 point match play game of frontline warfare between the Greenskins and the Adeptus Astartes. Hi team, welcome back to the channel. At the time of filming today, the new Space Marine Codex is up for pre-order. So in this battle report, we're going to showcase some of the new hotness and not make any mistakes whatsoever. It's going to be glorious, but what is more glorious is the Orks. My Ork army will reign victorious, I'm sure. My Ork army is known as Murphy's War, and today on the channel, Murphy is not with us. Instead, Big Mac Bob will be leading my Ork warband as we rampage across this battlefield. We see an encampment. We see 4 objectives on the table. This is front line warfare. 1 army will be deployed on this side, 1 army will be deployed on that side, and you get 5 points for an objective, 10 points for more than 1 objective, and 15 points if you control more objectives than your opponent. There is a small outpost out here. The Ork structures that you see on the table, we're going to count them as ruins. And the trees, which you can see, these are obscuring. These are obscuring. So if you're in them, if you're shooting at models in them or behind them, it's going to be -1 to hit. But if you're shooting out of them, then no minuses to hit. So this encampment here, I quite like this bit around this side. So if someone deploys here, they could trundle all the way around the edge. Look, all the way to get back around there, or I guess climb over the walls, really. Yeah, so we have the ruins here. They're from cromlech.eu. Cromlech.eu also supply the objective, that's the wrong way around, also supply the objective markers and command point tokens that we use. You can find them on the deploymentzone.tv merchandise page. The battle mat is from urbanmats.com. The trees are from all over the place. 2,000 points of Space Marines versus Orks. I think I've said everything, and we welcome to the channel for the very first time Triple D. Say hi, Triple D.
Hi, Triple D.
That's a really nice thing that you've got. Where did you get that from?
I found it online somewhere.
Yeah.
I can't remember where.
On the deploymentzone.tv merchandise page.
That's the one.
Thanks for being a deploymentzone.tv supporter.
You're welcome.
You're also a patron in the Discord as well.
I am, yes.
And you're a gaming club. What gaming club are you part of?
I'm part of the Mad War Gaming Club in Asford, just outside Melton Mowbray.
Where's that?
It's about 40 minutes, half an hour from Warhammer World towards Leicester.
Oh, really?
So,
you're close to Mecca.
close to Mecca.
Wow. And you're part of the organiser, important person in the club as well.
I do my bit, yes.
you do your bit. And you just said to me off camera just a moment ago that you've just started a YouTube channel. Just start one.
Yeah, first video went up yesterday morning, actually. It's called Astartes Crusader.
Right.
And it's going to follow the exploits of my Space Marine chapter, mostly.
What is your Space Marine chapter called?
They're called the Swords of Dawn.
As Dawn the Primarch? Dawn
no,
the Sun Dawn?
Dawn as in sun rising on a new Imperium.
Ah, I like it. What's your YouTube channel called?
It's called Astartes Crusader.
Astartes Crusader. If I forget to link that below, let me know and then I'll add it to the link below, because I forget to even link my own stuff, let alone other stuff. Astartes Crusader, check them out. Are you going to be doing battle reports on there? What are you doing? Just chatty stuff? What's the plan?
To start with, it's going to be sort of a bit of chatty stuff. I've got a bit of a sort of a battle report, but no live footage at the moment. I'm hoping to sort of start incorporating that going forward.
Cool. And your Wargaming Club, everyone welcome? What days?
Everyone's welcome, yeah. Ordinarily in normal universe we play on a Thursday evening from about 6:30.
Right.
6:30 in the evening till about midnight.
Okay.
But obviously at the moment, COVID and everything, we're somewhat restricted.
It's a bit rough right now, isn't it? COVID, and Nurgle is still touching the planet. He won't let it go.
I'm thankful he's not here today.
He's not here today, no. Neither is Murphy. Neither is Murphy and his war. But what is here today is the Space Marine Codex, the new one. And you're in charge of the new Space Marines.
Yes.
You're in charge of using the new Space Marine Codex.
Definitely not going to make any mistakes.
Definitely no mistakes will be made today as the Space Marines and the Orks battle around this encampment. Let's go and have a look at these armies. Right, this is 2,000 points on the nose of Orks. I'm going to be using the Clan Culture Goths, which means Orks explode on 6s when you shoot stuff. It's called Daka Daka Daka. 6s to hit, generate more hits. Goths also 6s to hit in close combat generate more hits. It's not called Smacker, 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 but I call it Smacker, Smacker, Smacker because it's easier to remember. So Smacker and Daka, 6s explode when punching or shooting. Nice, simple. We've got a single battalion here, so I've got 12 command points to play with. And my war boss today will be Big Mech Bob. And Big Mech Bob has got a super cyborg body and follow me lads, the warlord trait. Basically, he's got the abilities that a war boss would have. And Super Cyborg Body is a 5-up shrug. Weird Boy Will has got the jump. And this guy here, Weird Boy Whooshbang, is going to have Warpath. So that allows me to teleport boys up the table. This allows me to add 1 attacks characteristics to an orc mob. And I've got plenty of mobs. I've got 2 big squads, 2 12-man squads of shooter boys. With the shooters, they're going to go in the trucks. I've got 1 big squad of 30 of Slugger Tropper boys. They're going to be dejumped. At least that's the plan anyway. And I think I've got kill saws in those squads for the boss knob. In this squad, I think he's just got a big chopper. So there's all my boys. And then 3 units of emergency food stuff, aka Gretchen, to scurry around and steal some objectives as well. And then I've got 1 big squad of 10 nobles. And the idea is there's big choppers, there's power claws in here, there's a couple without any upgrades at all. The idea is that the nobles go in the big one, along with Big Mech Bob. Shooter boys go in the little ones, and these guys run up the field. Simples. And then I've got booster blasters, shock jump dragsters to zip around all over the place and harass. This is very much a going forward army. Except for the big squad of 15 looters, which are going to stay back and shoot guns and make loud banging noises in the general direction of the Space Marines while the killer cans stomp their way forward up the table. They're also crewed by Gretchen, like these Gretchen here. But they're smart enough to get inside these tin cans here so the orcs can't get to them and eat them, not without a fight anyway. So yeah, they're going forward. The trucks, the battle wagons, the booster blasters, everything's going forward except for the looters. It's going to be a mashup. Let's go and have a look at the Space Marines. This is the Swords of Dawn. Dawn is in the Dawn Sun, not as in the Primarch. This is a battalion. It's got 12 command points in it. And what you do with the new Space Marine Codex is you pick Inheritors of the Primarch, just like before, and pick a first founding, like Ultramarines, Black Templars, something like that. Or you can pick 2 successor traits. And you've picked 2 successor traits.
I have, yes. The narrative for the chapter is they're a successor of the Raven Guard.
Yep.
But the 2 traits that I've picked today are Hungry for Battle, which is +1 to advance and charge, and Duelists, which in melee against infantry and biker units means 6s to hit automatically win the target.
Cool. So quite punchy, quite assaulty, quite coming at me.
Yeah, the sort of the narrative justification for that is sort of springing ambushes and lightning assaults, having got into position on the battlefield.
Yep.
Rather than being the sort of the sneaky hidey type Raven Guard.
Yeah. Now the interesting thing with the new Space Marine Codex is if you play Space Wolves, you use the new Space Marine Codex. If you play Blood Angels, Death Watch, you use the new Space Marine Codex. And if you play Raven Guard Ultras, you use the new Space Marine Codex. And therefore, those other supplementary codexes no longer exist. So previously, you'd have played Raven Guard with the Codex.
Yep.
And until the supplements come out, it's just the Codex, because that's what Space Marine players have now. Except for Grey Knights, we're waiting to see what the Grey Knights get. We still have Tactical Assault, Devastator Doctrine. The other thing is that we had a look through is you've got the new core ability. So captains and lieutenant aura abilities only affect core units. And we checked and double checked. And it turns out that Outriders are core, Blade Guard are core, these Eliminators are core. Basically, everyone here is core except for the Blade Guard Ancient, the Impulsor. The Dreadnought is core. He's core.
He's core. And
the only other things that are not core are lieutenants and captains, who are about the most core, crucial thing to any Space Marine force ever. In fact, a Space Marine force would not be a force without a captain and lieutenant leading them, but they're not core because, they're not. They just hit on 2s anyway, so they don't need to be core. But they are core. Narratively speaking, they're core, but they're not core as far as rules are concerned. So basically everything here can benefit from your aura buffs.
Yes.
Which I like. And your warlord trait or relic, you've increased his aura.
So my warlord trait is the Imperium sword.
Yes.
The relic is the Voxa Spiritum, which you don't see very often, but buffs his reroll aura ability out to 9 inches.
I've never seen it. So his reroll hit rolls of 1 goes out to 9 inches. And he's got a relic shield because that's what it does. So he's basically got 6 wounds with a 4-up feel no pain and a 4-up shrug.
Yep.
That's what that dude does.
The 4-up shrug only works against mortal wounds, not all other wounds, but it gives him sort of potentially up to 2 or 3 layers of saves.
Yeah, I like what you did with the shield as well. He's not gripping it with his fingers over the top.
No, I wanted him to be a bit more sort of involved in the action.
Yeah.
Certainly the narrative behind my chapter is that they like going forward and charging, so standing still with his hand on the shield didn't seem to work for me.
No. Well, it looks glorious. It looks good that way. And he's going to be coming up the table smacking away. You got the lieutenant who is with him as well. What else are we looking at? What else you got? What else you bringing?
Okay, so it's a battalion.
Yes.
Those are obviously the 2 HQ choices.
Yes.
The 3 troops choices, we've got a squad of Stalker Intercessors immediately behind the characters.
Yeah.
There's 10 of them with 1 auxiliary grenade launcher, which is now called an Astartes grenade launcher.
Okay.
And then we've got 2 squads of infiltrators.
Right.
A squad of 6 due to points. That's got the comms array, which allows them to use the Phobos Lieutenant's reroll ability even if he's not within 6 inches.
Yeah.
And the big squad of 10, they have got the Helix Adept.
All right.
Again, just because you don't normally see it, and the intention is that they'll stand pretty close to the Lieutenant anyway, so they don't need the comms array.
And they can heal stuff.
Yes.
Are these the guys that I can't deep strike within 12 inches of?
They are, yes.
Right,
yeah.
Okay. So if I'm jumping all the way up the table, I can't jump next to these guys.
They give me a nice little sort of bubble of board control
Yeah,
at
I like
the start
it.
of the game.
Eliminators?
Yep, 2 squads of Eliminators, 1 with the bolt sniper rifles and 1 with the las fusils.
Las cannons, basically.
I've got another 3 sniper rifles in the box to paint, but they need a bit more green stuff work first.
Yeah.
Again, they sort of seem to suit the sort of the Raven Guard narrative.
And jumpy dudes.
Jumpy dudes with plasma.
D3 shots each, but they have the blast rule.
Yep, and they've got 2 guns.
So if they're shooting at anything with 6 or more models in it, each model here does 6 shots. So that is potentially, if you're shooting at a unit with 6 or more models, that's 30, strength 7, -3, 1 damage shots. Never need to overcook them, right?
Never.
So much firepower. And they're a core unit, so you can reroll hit rolls of 1, reroll wound rolls of 1, and the Dreadnought's a core unit.
The Dreadnought's core, yep, he's got the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon, normal onslaught Gatling cannon, 2 storm bolters, and the rocket pod.
And Wisdom of the Ancients is still a thing.
It is. It's changed a little bit, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. And then Blade Guard Ancient, who's not core, with Blade Guard veterans who can jump inside the Impulsor.
Yep.
And Outriders, we found out, only come in units of up to 3. Whereas the Blade Guard can come in units of up to 6 now, which is good. I like a good squad, a big squad of Blade Guard. Because the Ancient, what is that? Is that +1 attack or an extra attack?
He's +1 to hit.
+1 to
for
hit.
the Blade Guard.
So because the Blade Guard has like 3 attacks base, and then you add Shock Assault in there. So what's that? 4, that's 13 attacks, hitting on 2s.
Hitting on 2s, strength 5,
Yeah.
and 2 damage each.
They're quite tasty, with a 2-up save because of the Storm Shields. And imagine them in a big unit of 6. They would be pretty brutal. But Outriders, can only come in units of up to 3. But they have a bajillion attacks anyway, so if there was a unit of 6 of them, then that was even more. How many do they have on the charge, Outriders?
On the charge, a unit of 3 is 19 attacks.
19!
So a unit of 6 would get up to 37.
I can't math that high. Absolutely brutal. And and they're strats now, so they can fall back and shoot.
Yep.
All sorts
Hoping
of
to
stuff.
use that one today.
Some new stratagems. Another one where I hope there's some lovely new strats. Many of the original stratagems are the same. Some of them have been tinkered to do slightly different things like Wisdom of the Ancients, and some of them are completely new. After skimming through the Space Marine Codex with me, what do you think? What's initial thoughts?
I like it. It's toned some of the extremes down.
Yeah.
Aggressors are a unit that's changed. They don't seem to be able to move, stand still and fire twice anymore.
No, aggressors not shoot
that's
twice. Yeah.
sort of knocked them off a peg a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it needed it.
Yeah.
There's some nice stratagems. They now sort of really seem to synergise well with the army and the units.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we'll get a good game today. So
I think there's some strats as well which deliberately and only affect Primaris. Like transhuman physiology only affects Primaris now, which is a shame. But there's some stuff that only affects tactical marines, like the melter bomb rule. Doing 2d3 damage to a vehicle in close combat is a tactical squad thing. Also, the repulsor fields are no longer -2 to charge.
No, that's
but
now
it's a
moved
strat.
to a stratagem, which that's an option, or it lets you fall back and shoot.
So Repulsor Execution has anything with the grav plates, the floaty things. What are they called, the floaty things they're on?
Repulsor field?
Repulsor fields, I think I got it right, yeah. So for 1 CP, you can fall back with your tanks and shoot.
Yeah.
Without penalty. For just a CP. So they stopped tanks being able to fall back and shoot, but for 1 CP you can put it on 1 Space Marine tank and they can still fall back and shoot, which is quite nice. My favouriteest stratagem that I was able to find in the new book is the drop pod. No, not a stratagem. Favouriteest rule is the drop pod rule. Any number of
assault back.
Any number of drop pods you can put in reserve, ignoring the reinforcements cost. The points, for reinforcements.
Yeah, there's no limitation on how many drop pods you can put in your army now. So you could, in theory, reserve your whole list if it's in drop pods.
That's beautiful. Reserving the whole thing in drop pods. Oh, full drop pod assault. I don't think it's game winning because as soon as you deploy, you're outside of all your vehicles, so you can't get back in again. And there's only a certain number of units that you can put in drop pods. But you could drop down 3 triple grav devastator. Mind you, I didn't see that grav amplifier. That's gone.
I didn't see that one.
Gravitic amplification's gone. But you could drop in 3 devastator squads. You could drop in 3 dreadnoughts. You can drop in. It's interesting. I've got enough drop pods as well to do. Anyway, that got me excited. That got the narrative bunny in me a little bit excited. I'm excited to play Space Marines again. I'm excited to play with them and against them. I have to say, though, that your Swords of Dawn... I got it right for the first time. They're absolutely glorious. I love them. And you've been playing since 2nd edition as well.
Yep.
So you're old like me.
I've been around a while. One last thing, I did give the lieutenant in Phobos Armor the target priority warlord trait with the hero of the chapter stratagem.
So he's got the relic, the 9-inch thing.
Yep.
And he
can give +1 to hit for a Phobos unit within 6 inches.
Really? Okay. So if these two together, you got +1 to hit and then reroll hit rolls of 1.
Yep.
And that goes on 1 unit.
Yeah.
And you said you're spending a couple of CPs on strategic reserves or something?
Yes, I'm going to put the Redempted Dreadnought in strategic reserve so that it's not a target on turn 1.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to stick the Stalker Intercessors in strategic reserve as well.
These guys?
Yeah. The Interceptors will probably start off the board just using their normal meteoric descent.
Well, we can do that during deployment, but that would cost 2 CPs if you're sticking both of them in there. Yeah. Talking about deployment, let's do that now. And we're deployed for this 2,000 point game of frontline warfare. Eliminators and Infiltrators have taken this outpost here along with a squad of Outriders. Quite some distance away from these 2 objectives here. Here's the second squad of Outriders and Eliminators.
Yep.
Who's in that?
The Captain and the Blade Guard and the Blade Guard Ancient are all in the Impulsor.
Where's the Lieutenant?
He is just here.
Oh, there's the Lieutenant. Okay.
Giving his buff out to the Infiltrators.
And these dudes are down here. These are the guys with the guns that auto wound on 6s.
That's
if
right,
you get 6s to wound, they auto wound.
They auto wound.
Yes. And you've got the jumpy dudes hurtling down from the sky.
Yep.
And the Redempted Dreadnought and the other guys? Intercessors will be outflanking, or potentially they're in strategic reserve. They can come on any board edge, not in my deployment zone in turn 2. So you've got a right flank and a left flank.
Yep.
Now, while we're doing this, let's talk about the secondary objectives that the Space Marines have picked. So primary-wise, we're fighting over these 4 objectives here. Secondary-wise, there's 3 new secondary objectives that Space Marines can pick, and you've picked all 3 of them.
Yep.
Because we want to show them off. Purge the enemy is basically kill stuff. What Purge the enemy does is, if you kill units with Devastator weapons during the Devastator doctrines, you get a point for every unit you kill. If you kill stuff with tactical weapons during the tactical doctrines effect, you get a point. And same with the assault thing. So it's got to be in the assault phase, for example, with pistol melee weapons. But you can get multiple points. If you kill 2 or 3 things with the Devastator doctrine, with Devastator weapons, you'll get 2 or 3 points, etc. And I've got lots and lots of units. So Purge the enemy, Codex Warfare, kill stuff, yeah?
Yep.
Battlefield Supremacy, I really, really like this one. Because it is, you basically get 3 points at the end of your turn if you control an objective that was previously controlled by the enemy. So if I was on this one, you want to get to it to push me off of it. Because at the start of my turn, I'm going to get 5 points for it. So if you manage to get on it and push me off of it, not only do you stop me from getting the 5 points, but you'll get 3 points for shock tactics pushing me off that objective. So there's an 8-point swing, that one. I like them. Particularly in games, I mean, this particular game it's only got 4 objectives down on the table, but if you're playing the one with 5 or 6 objectives, basically as a Space Marine player, when I play Space Marines, I think I'm nearly always going to be taking shock tactics.
It's certainly a good one, isn't it, for control of the board.
You want to score the primaries anyway. You want to stop your opponent scoring them and getting on it at the end of your turn. And also it says as well, if you control 1 or more objectives marker that were controlled by your opponent at the start of the battle round. So I could have a tank on there and a Space Marine player runs up with a tactical Marine. Or there could be elites on there and a tactical Marine runs up and suddenly, because of objective secured, you control that one. It's a good one. And then the last one, Oath of Moment, in No Mercy, No Respite. You also get, so this is, you basically get a victory point if you kill any character, vehicle, or monster. You get a victory point if each turn, if you don't fail a morale test or don't fall back each turn. And you get 2 victory points if your models, if any Adeptus Astartes unit from your army is wholly within the center of the battlefield, 6 inches of the center of the battlefield. So again, multiple ways of scoring. Get within 6 inches of the center. 2, kill a unit or a vehicle, get a point. Don't fall back. Don't fail morale, get another point. Again, you've got multiple ways of scoring, and they're all glorious and they're all narrative. And I think I like them. Do we like them?
We like them a lot.
We like them a lot. We like them a lot. So those are your secondary objectives. We'll talk them through as they happen. Here is my army. I put my looters with my grot shields over here and a truck with some shooter boys in it because I want to get this objective. So my secondaries, I picked the one from Frontline Warfare, which is called, 1 minute, Vital Ground. Vital Ground. These objectives in the middle, as well as scoring them on the primaries, they're worth 2 points. And this one down here is worth 3 points to me. So I want to push forward and take ground. I've also got Assassinate, which is kill characters. You've got 3 characters. It seemed very orky to me. The Blade Guard Ancient and the Captain and Lieutenant. And I've got Engage on all fronts, which is spread out and get into all table quarters. So I'm looking at scoring the primaries. I'm looking at scoring these for secondaries and spreading out all over the place and killing the characters. So yeah, shooter boys and looters up here. Now they're going to be -1 shooting through the trees, but the plan really is to get them in the trees. So they'll be -1 when you shoot at them, but not -1 when I shoot out of them. And I got to pick deployment. And I was saying to you that this is the worst deployment for me. But I picked it because this is where the Ork encampment is. Because it would be great if I'd have put some looters there. The field of fire I'd have had there with my grot shields in front of me would have been glorious. But I picked this side because this is where the buildings are. And you're coming at me. So, Mech Boy, Big Mech Bob is in there. There's one of my, he's the Warpath one. He's the jump one. There's an objective, and yeah. I put the Shock Drunk Dragster. I thought the worst place a Dragster would be is rampaging really quickly through trees. So I put him here because it's a terrible place to be. But you should put fast stuff on the flanks, faster stuff. That's why there's a Dragster down this end and a truck down that end. Unless you've got a really, really whole full-on assault-based army where you want to push up the middle really quick. Now, all of my army is pretty much assault-based, but it's not a vast assault. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a really fast assault army, middle is the best place for you, and hit like a hammer. If you've got it's fast-ish, so then you put your fast-ish stuff on the flanks, like you've done with your Outriders over there.
Yep, I've basically got no centre.
You have no centre, yeah. So you can, the horns of the buffalo, as in the Zulu movie, you can come right, come left. Yeah. Right, so what you should see in this game is the new secondary objectives coming into effect. We'll try and use some of the new stratagems here, there, and everywhere. You've already spent 3, though.
I've spent 3, yep.
2 in strategic reserves and plus the double warlord traits.
That's right, yep.
Because you can still do that. Buy extra relics, buy extra warlord traits. Yeah.
Yep. I gave the extra warlord trait to the lieutenant with Hero of the Chapter.
Yeah.
And 2 CP on the strategic reserves, getting the dreadnought and the intercessors in outflanking positions.
So you got 9, but you're gonna get up to 5 during the game as the game goes on. Oh, the other thing is your original list when you turned up had 2 captains in it.
It did. Yeah.
But you could only bring 1 captain and 2 lieutenants per detachment.
Yes.
So if you had
sort of limited the buffs in that respect.
Yeah. So if you have 2 detachments, you can bring 2 captains.
But then you're spending CP on extra detachments.
Yeah.
In order to get them.
Or you can upgrade one of your captains to a chapter master and have a chapter master and a captain in the same detachment. Yes. But again, you're spending 2 CP on that upgrade and plus 40 points on that upgrade. And chapter masters don't do what chapter masters did before. Beforehand, chapter masters would give reroll to hits for everything, and now they give reroll to hits for a unit within 6 inches. So they're not as great as they used to be, or basically not as broken as they used to be.
Yeah.
So right, we need to roll off. So he goes first. I'm excited. Yeah. Let's roll off. Have you got the green? You got green.
I've got green. Yeah.
Okay, I should know, but yeah, go for it.
I think I'll take the first turn.
Bless me. Space Marine's turn 1. And so the Swords of Dawn move forward to the Green Skins encampment. The Outriders swinging around to take this objective here. Your captain, does he have a name?
Captain Janus Dark.
Captain Janus Dark. I like it. He's out of his transport, ready to give orders next turn. You're very careful not to leave a large enough gap for a jumping unit of 30 boys back here. I could potentially jump in front of you, but yeah, I'm certainly not going to be swinging through your back passage. These guys are staying back, but we had some advancing over here with the Eliminators, Infiltrators.
Yeah.
Infiltrators, and there's the lieutenant. He's making his way downtown, ready to get round this side. Is it lunchtime? We're opening up the shooting phase with the Eliminators that have requisitioned this Orc Bastion out here. They've found their target. My weird boy is down there, shooting mortis rounds.
Mortis rounds?
Hitting on 3s. I've seen better shooting. Okay, along to Eliminator squad number 2 with las fusils. They're picking on the Killer cans. Okay, 3 shots with las fusils.
And we're within range of the captain.
And they are core.
They are core.
So 3s to hit. Captain doesn't have. Strength.
Strength 8.
Strength 8. Winning on 3s. Right, back over to this flank. Now the Infiltrators are going to shoot at the looters. I've spent a CP on grot shields, but it will be -1 to hit because you are shooting. No, actually, they're in the trees shooting out. So they're only going to be hitting on 3s. So no -1 to hit. You're dice rolling. Come on. Winning on.
That's an automatic wound.
Okay, and the other one, 1 wound. On a 2-up, like that, a grot dies instead. So the bikers, they're going to pick on the looters as well. Now, bolter discipline is still a thing, and bikers can still fire it at maximum range. So they're rapid fire 2, so 4 shots each.
4 shots.
Hitting on 4s because they are firing through trees. Winning on 4s.
Yep.
This will burn straight through armour. That's 3 wounds.
Yep.
So 3 2-up saves. Well, 3 on 2s, it goes on to grots. So 2 grots die and 1 looter dies. Then the last thing left to fire was the Impulsor, which did manage to put 1 wound on that truck there. But that's it for the Space Marines shooting phase. If the Eliminators had killed that weird boy down there, that would have been a secondary objective. That would have been 1 point for killing a character with a Devastator weapon. But because most of the army is either off the table or busy flanking their way around, no more damage caused by the Space Marines. You have put yourself on 2 objectives. You do force a leadership test on those Gretchen down there. The leadership is 4, so I need a 1. I don't get a 1. 1 more flees. And there are 6 left, which flees on 1s, so no more flees. So 6 left in the front squad. The looters currently have a leadership of 14, because Orks count the number of models in their squad for their leadership, so they can't possibly fail. So that was underwhelming. Let's find out what the Orcs... It could have gone better. Let's find out what the Orcs do in turn 1. End of Orcs movement phase in turn 1. This is what we have done. We have gone forward. I got a good advance roll on this truck full of the shooter boys. So it's sped up and handbrake turned round that corner there, looking for baddies to smack in. I've also got engage on all fronts. And now he's in this table quarter. And I've got units in 3 table quarters. So that'd be 2 points at the end of the turn. I did think about zipping it onto that objective bet there, but the plan is I can actually jump my boys onto that objective there. There's no room for 30 units of boys anywhere else except right in the middle, and that's inviting trouble, and there's no objectives there. So if I did jump there, then I've got a big unit of 30 boys there, which could be countercharged by all these Reavers, Eliminators, things. Infiltrators coming through the trees. Steve's guys. But if they countercharge me and jump on me, then I've got killer cans that can jump on them. Basically, that could turn into a mosh pit very, very quickly. And so I moved my shock jump dragster up here to come sideways if you want. Come in. The idea with him was to teleport him as well, because on a 4-up, when you advance, they can teleport. And I could have zipped it right into the corner and being annoying, but it didn't teleport, probably because it was too busy crashing through trees. So that was my other option for engaging on all fronts. So that's what's happened there. Knobs are in that one with my big mech, so it's got a 5-up invulnerable save. And then over here, much advancing with Gretchen through the rubble. 1 line, 2 line. I'm aware that there's infiltrators, outflankers that could come in. So I'm screening off my units as effectively as I can, hopefully not leaving any room in the backfield either. And the looters should have a commanding field of fire in the next turn once they get fully in there. Because right now, some of them will be -1 to hit because they're shooting through there. So I'm going to have to spend 2 CP on the Mordaka strat. But yeah, the idea is they get there and then they can fire out commanding field of fire. They didn't move very far because it's -2 to move through trees. They're difficult ground. And we're calling all of this obscure, and we're calling all of this difficult ground. So they didn't move very far. The Grots, though, were able to run a little bit. So that's where we are. We're going to do some psychic shenanigans. The first thing I'm doing is that dude is going to cast Warpath on them. It gives them an extra attack, and that gives them an extra attack. You haven't got any denial stuff going on, have you?
No denials today,
okay. No. And then the second thing, grab that nice. Weird Boy will cast the jump on them for my grand plan to come together, and that works. And the squad of boys disappear and end up there, curled round like this to be more than 9 inches away from the enemy unit. So what we've got at the end of my movement and psychic phase is quite a lot of ball control along this edge. Now we need to go on into the shooting phase, and my looters are going to open up on the outriders there, trying to take away some of the speed of the Space Marine force. So I'm going to spend ACP on Mordaka. 2 CP on Mordaka, and they get D3 shots each. So this is 42 shots, and Mordaka says, Daka, just triggers on unmodified hit rolls of 5s or 6s, and yeah, that many, and then that's 40 dice. This is 42 dice. Dude, that was really good.
Really good.
Strength 7 versus toughness 5. Wounding on 3s, 15. It's -1, 2 damage. So you need lots of 4s. You make lots of 4s. How much wounds have they got each?
They've got 4 wounds each. So 1, 2, and 1's half dead.
So you're still going to be on this objective. Then I fired the boys in the truck. 6s to hit through the trees, generating more hits. I need 5s to wound though. Oh, I didn't get any wounds. Grots can't shoot their pistols in. Can my booster blaster see him? Booster blast? No. Kill cannon on the truck can see him. I could do the truck at him. The truck's going to fire all of its guns at him because this is worth quite a lot of points. So there's 2 big shooters on that truck. I didn't pay for loads. 5s to hit, 6s explode. So that's 2 hits. Strength 5 versus toughness 5. A wound. A 3-up save on the bike. Now firing the kill cannon in. Strength 8 -2, 2 damage. If I get 1 hit in, he's dead. And it's D6 shots. So you've just spent a CP on what now?
Skilled Riders.
Which has changed.
It has, yes. It used to be a 4-up invent. After your movement phase, it's now you play the strat when the unit is targeted.
Yep.
And it's -1 to hit.
-1 to hit. So, because you've got to keep, it's worth a lot of points. D6 shots, 2 shots. So instead of 5s to hit now, it's 6s to hit. It didn't help you, but I missed anyway. He's going to survive unless you roll a 6. Okay. I don't think any... Truck. The truck zipped round the corner. It can shoot at you. It did advance. Big shooters are assault weapons. 1 hit. Daka, 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 daka. Just 1 hit. It won't kill you, but it might wound you. It does wound you. 3-up save. It does wound him. I can shoot out trucks. That's what you can do with them. Shoot boys have 2 shots each, but they're advanced. So I need 6s. Just 1 wound to get through. I got 8 6s. 8. And a couple more. 10 6s in total. That's how you do a shooting phase. Orcs are better shooters than Space Marines. We're lighting it up. 5s to wound though. 5s to wound. 2 wounds. 2 3-up saves. Or he died. Die, Yumi.
The Emperor does not protect today.
Come on, boy.
It's worth it, isn't it?
It's worth 5 points. Yes. He's still alive. He's still alive. And that's the last thing that can fire in that direction. But I'm liking it. The Orc shooting phase is going really well. What are these guys going to shoot at then? Guys in the tower? Okay, so custom booster blaster to the boys in the tower. It's 7 shots with a rivet cannon. Hitting on 5s and 6s. My shooting today. With Daka Daka Daka. And this is strength 7. Toughness Space Marine. Wounding on 3s. I get 5 wounds. Now, it's AP -2. But they're in cover and they get an additional 1 to their cover save for being in terrain, which is now in the new codex. So there's +2 to cover, but -2 AP. So 3-up saves. Any failed saves is 2 damage. I killed 2 of them. Next booster blaster, same target. 5s and 6. Oh, just 2 hits this time. 1 wound. 1 3-up save. The Eliminators are dead. Right, all the way down here. I had some shots from small arms going into these guys with a 2-up save, not doing anything at all. Let's do the rockets, but they are -1 to hit. So this will be hitting on 5s and wounding on that. It's -2, but +1, so -1. And that's a flat 3 damage because it's a rocket and it goes kaboom and blows one up. And then we're going to be shooting from the shock jump tracks that it's shooting in. The targeting squig is hits on 3s, but it's hitting on 4s because of where you is. -1 to hit because they're obscured. And 1 does a mortal wound to myself. Then a rocket misses. So the gun overheats as it fires up into the trees. That is the end of my turn 1. There aren't any charges coming up. I could charge around here. But because of the defensive line, it's going to be -2 to the charge range. And I'm going up a floor. Basically, it is an impossible charge. And I want to be on the objective anyway. I don't want to charge. I want you to come here so I can countercharge. You countercharge. That's the plan. I am in 3 different table quarters. You do need to make a morale test on that dude. Don't roll a 6. You rolled a 5. Imagine if it was the first time this game you actually rolled high and rolled a 6. So he hangs in there, which is good. It will get you 5 points for that at the start of your turn. In fact, you'll get 10 points for those objectives at the start of your turn. But I've got 2 points for engage on all fronts. And the Space Marines have completed a battle round without falling back or failing a morale test. So they'll get a point as well for their oath of moment. that is the end of Space Marines versus Orks turn 2. The Space Marines need these reserves to come in now, and they need to push back the Orks and push them back hard. Here we are after the Swords of Dawn movement phase. They got 10 points in the command phase for being on 2 primaries. Orbital Bombardment's back, baby.
It's back in a big way.
And you've dropped one. You've dropped a big one down on the table there. That red marker there. What happens is 3 CP. And then in your next command phase, you roll a dice for every unit within 6 inches of the center of that marker. And on a 2 to 5, they take D3 mortal wounds. And on a 6, they take D6 mortal wounds. And if they're within 3 inches of the center of that marker, then you +1 to that dice roll. So on a 5-6, it could be D6 mortal wounds. A bit of area denial there. That's a 12-inch bubble. If I'm still there when the hammer falls, it's going to hurt. And it's also in range of the killer cans there. So do I really want to push up towards this way? It's an area denial effect. I love it. These guys are staying still in the trees because you want to rapid fire twice that way. And remember, if you kill something with rapid fire weapons while the tactical doctrine is in effect, that's a point. And if you kill a vehicle, that's another point for your secondaries, for the Oath of Moment and Shock Assaults and things like that. You're keeping the Blade Guard inside the Impulsor. Why are the Blade Guards still in there?
They're staying because they want to hit what comes out of the truck or the battle wagon.
Not because they're cowards.
No. They're waiting their moment.
They know no fear. They're waiting for a counterpunch. I'm not going to say cowards. I won't mention cowards again, except in about another 5 times for them being in there. But they should be out. They're Blade Guards. They should be rampaging this, that, and the other. They could, and you're going to blow open the truck.
That's the plan.
With these guys, who's dropped in from reserve.
They've dropped in from strategic
Because
reserve.
you could have got the Blade Guard out first, and they could be stood there, ready to charge the stuff that comes out of the truck.
They could be.
Well, why not?
I want to hit the mega nubs coming out of the battle wagon.
Oh, you want to get because you want to counterpunch my counterpunch, which is punching at your counterpunch?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, right, I like it. The Outriders going this way. That Outrider's still staying on that objective there. Gretchen, do get Zog off. This is ours. So we do have objective secured. However, there is another team of infiltrators making their way through the trees here. Where's your Dreadnought?
The Dreadnought's waiting.
Is he?
He's not coming to play just yet. He's waiting for a bit of a better target.
Because this
None
unit...
of this is scary enough.
Really? This unit that came in from strategic reserves only came in from your board edge. You're bringing it on here. Yep. They are within 3 inches of that objective. Why on here as well?
They've got 36-inch range.
Have they? Are they the Stalker ones?
Yeah, they're the Stalker bolters. So, they've got decent lines of fire to everything that's on the table at the moment.
Okay.
They're not exposing themselves to too much fire, and they should be able to hold that objective if the Interceptors decide to move off. Okay.
Sounds like a plan. Right, opening up the shooting phase, the Outrider killed 3 of the Grots right in front of him, and these guys firing 12 shots in killed 7 of the Grots down here. Basically, there's a unit of 3 and a unit of 3 left in the trees. Then we're coming all the way around here to this unit of infiltrators that stayed still. So bolter discipline is a thing.
Yep.
And this is 22 shots coming in at the shock drum dragster on 3s, and 6s cause auto wounds. 5 6s so far, and 5s to wound. Yeah, AP -1 because the tactical doctrine is in effect. So I have 11 5-up saves. No, the shock drum dragster is dead. Does it explode? No. And that's a point for Oath of Valor and a point for Codex Warfare, killing something with a tactical weapon while the tactical doctrine is in effect. So the Space Marines are following the teachings of the Codex here. Now we have these guys firing into the truck. We've got reroll 1s to hit because of his huge range. Reroll 1s to wound. They're a core unit. Hitting on 3s with their las fusils. Everything hits. 3s to wound. Is that all 3? What's that one?
No, that's a 2.
Okay, that's AP -3. I don't get a save. So it's 2d6 damage. It burns straight from my armor.
Flat 3
It's
damage.
a flat 3 damage. Ramshackle kicks in. It doesn't kick in. It is a flat 3 damage, which is 6 in total. Now we're on to the Interceptors in Jumpy Dudes. You're overcooking all the guns.
I am.
And you're firing 1 into the truck.
Yep.
And the other 4 into the battle wagon. Right, 2d3 shots versus the truck. For nice 6 shots. 3s to hit. Rerolling one. You don't need to reroll any one, so everything hits. 3s to wound. Everything wounds. I don't get a save, and even Ramshackle won't save me because that'd be a minimum of 5 damage. The truck is dead and doesn't detonate. That'll be another 2 points for the secondaries, and the orcs inside scramble out, and not one of them dies. And we're just looking at this thing again. We think that's another point for killing something with a rapid fire or assault weapon. That's fine. But we think that score a victory point if any character, vehicle, or monster was destroyed by an Adeptus Astartes unit from your army during that battle round. So we think that there is a maximum of 1 point for killing per battle round for killing a character, vehicle, or monster. It doesn't say each. It just says was destroyed. And a point for not falling back or failing morale, and 2 points for holding the centre of the battle grid. So we think there's a maximum of 4 points a turn every turn for getting your oaths. These say there's a maximum of 5, 10, 15 for getting these ones. So 3 points. You scored 3 points for killing 2 vehicles.
Yep.
Kill another vehicle though, you're going to get 4 points. So all of these shots, many D3s coming in.
4 D3.
Yeah, you got 4 more dice to roll, bud. Number of shots, D3 each. 14 shots, hitting on 3s. Any rerolls?
No.
Did you not fail any single one?
No ones.
Okay,
Only
brilliant.
2 misses.
Strength 8, toughness 8. See, your dice rolling's turning round.
It's getting hotter.
I've just said that, so I probably cursed you on the wound roll. No, I haven't cursed you on the wound roll. 6 wounds, but I do have a 5 up invulnerable save because of Big Mac Bob's force field. I only saved 1. That's 2 damage each. That's 10 damage. The truck, the battle wagon's only got 6 left. So now the Intercessors are going to fire in at the battle wagon. 10 shots with Stalker Pack bolt rifles. It's heavy and they move, so these are hitting on 4s, re-rolling the 1s. And strength 4 versus toughness 8. 2 wounds.
2 wounds.
2 5 up and vulnerable saves. Make 1, and they're 2 damage each.
Yeah.
It's got 4 left. Right, you really want it dead. So spending 2 CP on the rapid fire stratagem, which has changed. It now just says pick an intercessor unit or pick a intercessor or something. There's a couple of units you can pick, and you can fire again. So you're firing them again at the bone breaker on 4s. And re-rolling the 1s. Is that 3 1s?
3 1s.
2 wounds. So if I fail both of my 5 up saves, you take out the bone breaker. Oh! I passed both of my 5 up saves. I'm sorry. That was a Hail Mary shot as well and everything, and it did. I'm sorry.
It could have worked.
You know what would have been helpful?
It nearly worked.
It would have been helpful if cowards weren't hiding inside there, and they could have charged out and they could have chopped it up. Right, what are we doing now?
We're doing the Impulsor into the boys.
Shooter boys or the Slugger Chopper boys behind, the ones that...
Shooter boys and the other ones.
Okay. 6 shooter boys died. That was the Impulsor, plus your captain rudely threw a grenade at them, which went boom, hurt many. Now we're on to, I think this is the last unit left to fire.
Yep.
The Outriders, you're deciding not to go for the Bonebreaker. Instead, you're going to fire upfield and slam into the looters over here with the 12 shots.
Yeah.
So spending a CP on grot shields again.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep. 1 damage off the bolt rifles on the front isn't going to take 4 wounds off the Bonebreaker. So,
no.
We'll shoot what we can kill.
3s to hit. You are re-rolling 1s because you're in aura range of your captain, and Outriders are a core unit. That's pretty good. 4s to wound. You're probably going to kill all my grots. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
With 3 wounds. 2s, you kill 3 grots. And that's the end of the Space Marine shooting phase. Much more successful than turn 1, my friend.
Yes.
Turn 1 was a bit...
up.
Yeah, okay. So you killed a chunk of grots, you killed the shock jump dragster over there, and a truck, and all the boys out of it. Now you're going to do some charges. So one of your oaths is to have any Adeptus Astartes unit wholly within 6 inches of the centre. If the Impulsor charges the Bonebreaker, you'll be wholly within 6 inches of the centre. Yep. Not only that, is the Bonebreaker gets an extra D6 attacks every time it charges. And it's going to get charged anyway. So you might as well do the charging. Just don't roll snake eyes and you're in. You've got some dice? I'm not overwatching. And around here, the infiltrators through the trees are going to try and charge the grots over here. You're only, well, it's 4 inches away, so it's a 3-inch charge plus 2 because the terrain, they are in But we're coming across here for another charge. It's just under 8 inches. You've got +1 to your charge because your successor trait. So instead of a 7, this is a 6-inch charge. The Outriders managed to get into the last of the shooter boys as well. Will I pay to interrupt that? I've got a kill saw in that one. I'd probably start with that assault, mate. 19 attacks. On 3s, re-rolling 1s, because your captains are right there. 6s do auto wounds, because your successor trait. Now it's forced to wound. And these are AP -1. You kill 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 orc boys, and there's 5 there. And it looks like this. The bike's consolidated a little bit. And then you rammed my bone breaker. No damage caused. Then round here, these guys absolutely slaughtered the Gretchen. They had no chance. You're now double teaming that objective there with the Infiltrator at the back, along with the Outrider. And that's it for your assault. So my bone breaker gets to fight your Repulsor back.
Mm-hmm.
Has D6 attacks at this profile for 4 attacks. We hit on 2s with a death roller as it grinds. But it's strength +1 at this profile, so its strength is only 7 versus toughness 7, so I need 4s to wound. And that's AP -2, 2 damage on the death roller.
4 pinball from the shield down.
Yep. You take 2 wounds as these 2 vehicles just ram into each other. And that's the end of Space Marine's turn 2, much more successful than the last turn, for getting a number of these oaths, for killing the vehicles, killing some grots with shooting over there, killing the truck, using tactical weapons, etc., etc. You've got 4 or 5 points for those oaths. If you're alive at the end of the battle round with the Impulsor, and it's still got 9 wounds left and a 4-up invulnerable save with its shield drone, but if it's still alive at the end of the battle round, wholly within 6 inches of the centre, and it is, that'll be another 2 points for completing that oath. This Bonebreaker can't fall back and ram again, so it's locked up in combat, though of course my nobles can clamber out. And remember, at the start of the Space Marine's next command phase, a big bright bomb will come in from orbit, or a lance fire from a long way away will land here and incinerate many orcs. So I need to get out of there, but I don't know if I can get out of there. I could potentially jump somewhere else. Maybe. At the start of my turn, in my command phase, I will get 5-10 points for the 2 primaries. I will also get 2 points for the other one, what's it called? For the vital ground objective. That's one of the mission objectives there. But yeah, a much more successful turn for the Space Marines, for the Swords of Dawn. Let's find out what the Orcs do in turn 2. Here we are after the Orcs movement phase. That took a lot of thinking. What happened over here is the shooter boys got out of the truck before it moved forward into this table quarter for engaging all fronts. And the idea is I try and swarm and take this objective here. There is the Outrider on 1 wound left, this squad of Infiltrators, and I should have enough Daka and I should have enough punch. Hopefully make the charge as well. It is going to be -2 going through the terrain, but Orcs can re-roll charges, and I've strung out the grots like this after a bit of running because I'm worried about a dreadnought coming on down here and just it's going to shoot anyway, even if it comes in there. If it wants to shoot this flank, it can shoot this flank, but I don't want it shooting and charging as I swarm over this objective. Round in the middle, of course, the nobles disembarked from the Bonebreaker before it fell out of combat, and so did my warlord, Big Mech Bob, and we're going to charge that thing. You're going to get points if you're there, so I need to crack it open. So let's try and crack it open, and then the Blade Guards will get out and charge me. So but I've got to. Look, beaky truck there. Let's break it open. Big Mech wants it. Done. The booster blast is reversed a little bit because these walls are in the way and I can't see anything else. I can't even see the Infiltrators back there because of the walls and because of the Bonebreaker, and I couldn't move it. The only thing that the booster blasters have line of sight on after squeezing them around is through to the Eliminators, and that's it. I'd really like to shoot them, but I can't. I'm shooting them instead. I've blocked myself in. Round here, that has got a 6-inch range and does D3 mortal wounds. But if you're within 3 inches of it, on a 5+, it does D6 mortal wounds. I'm hoping the boys won't be there after the charge. And because of that, I didn't push the killer cans all the way forward. They can come forward next turn. But as Triple D pointed out, there's no reason why you can't do that again and again and again. That would be... It was evil. That's good area denial, like 3 points, and then you do it again, 3 points. And then you're talking about massive area denial there, dropping mortal wounds down from space every turn. I like it. So Psychic Phase, must start off with the Psychic Phase. We're going to do a simple smite here. And that passes. And D3 mortal wounds. For 3 mortal wounds on the Impulsor, Armor of Contempt on a 5-up. Like that one there, you ignore one of the mortal wounds, so it only takes 2.
Down to 7.
Then Weird Boy Whooshbang is going to put Warpath on Nobles, and he fails, so I'm going to CP that. And he passes, which means that they get +1 attack. Right, the killer can's fired, big shooters up the table, didn't do anything. Rockets are now coming across. I squeeze these 2 round here so they can see the Impulsor. Only one of them can see the Impulsor, and misses. Now the Bone Breaker can't shoot, but the boys have got a couple of pistols in this squad, mainly close combat weapons, and a few pistols in this squad, which could fire at the Impulsor, trying to weaken it, no wounds done. The ones that couldn't see the Impulsor fired up at these guys and they're in terrain, have a 2-up save, and I've got Orcs shooting with pistols, no wounds done. So lots and lots of firepower, nothing so far, nothing. So Rivet Cannon number 1 from the Booster Blaster into the Eliminators. 7 shots, hitting on 5s. 6s explode, daka 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 daka. Oh, just 3 hits. Strength 7. 1 wound, -2 but +2 because of your Eliminator thing. It makes it, okay, and the other one. 1 hit, 2 hits, that was a 5. Yep. 6s explode, 2 hits. Just need 3s. No wounds. This shooting phase isn't going very well.
It feels familiar, but with the other side.
It's proper Orc shooting now. So we're coming over here to the Looters, spending 2 CP on more Daka again. You weren't asking about more Daka. The way it works is, Daka Daka Daka, 6s auto hit regardless of modifiers and cause additional hits. Yeah. When you spend 2 CP on more Daka, 5s and 6s auto hit regardless of modifiers and cause more. That's what it does. So it doesn't matter what shenanigans happen, 5s and 6s. Unmodified hit rolls of 5s and 6s will hit. So I'm going to shoot at the Reaver guys, and they've got 2 shots each. And when I see Reaver guys, I mean infiltrators. So 5s and 6s hit and explode. I got 9 6s. Look, that 2 CP got me 1 extra shot. 5s and 6s. There's another 3. I get another 3. So strength 7. 3s to wound. That many wounds. Now, interestingly, trees are obscuring, but not like cover. So these are all -1, 2 damage. Every failed save will kill an infiltrator, eliminator, the dudes with the things. Yeah, so 10 4-up saves.
Need this to be better than average. That's not good.
That's really bad. After that, a big shooter from there fired out, didn't do any damage, and that is the end of my shooting phase, because I don't want to shoot him with the shooter boys. I want to charge him with the shooter boys. So now we're going to have some charges. Would you like to Overwatch?
Nope.
No? This is re-rollable. I don't even know how far I've got to go, and that isn't far enough. Re-rollable with here we go, because I'm an orc. And that isn't far enough because it's -2. That'll be a 3-inch charge. I won't get on that objective. Do I go in with the Looters? I have to go in with the Looters. The Looters are going to try and charge him. Oh, yeah. And they end up there completely surrounding the Outrider. Then we came across here. The Looters the Nobles couldn't fail that charge against the Impulsor, but my big mech can, because he needs to get up round here. And because he's going up a level, this is a 10-inch charge. And I can re-roll any number of the dice. I'll just re-roll that one. Yes, he makes it in. So I'm going to start the fight phase with the Looters. 24 attacks. They're still Orcs. 3s to hit. And don't forget Smacker, Smacker, Smacker. Which generate extra hits on 3s. But I need 5s to wound that tough Outrider. It's 6 3-up saves, mate.
Yeah, right.
Good luck, good luck. I hope he stands.
No.
Stand for... Oh, no, he doesn't stand firm. I'm not going to consolidate any further forward because it does mean my looters are going to get absolutely ripped up by some firepower next turn. And I'd like to be able to fall back into the cover. But I had to do that because you'd have got 5 points for that objective. Plus, I need that objective. It's all about scoring, taking ground. Right, over here. Knobs. Attacking Impulsor. Let's do it. Right, there's two not fighting, these guys at the back. They've just got dual choppers anyway. I've got 3 power claws in that squad. Knobs have 3 attacks each. That's 9 attacks. But I put Warpath on them for an extra attack each. So this is 12 attacks with power claws. They're unwieldy though, so I'm hitting on 4s. And unmodified hit rolls of 6s generate extra hits, which do not convert. Strength time 2, strength 10, 2 wounds, 2 4-up invulnerable saves on the floaty tank. No, D3 damage. That did 3 damage. 5 big choppers with Warpath. That's 20 attacks on 3s. 4 6s, smacker, smacker, smacker. Strength 7 versus toughness 7, 4s. 8 4-up saves. Each doing 2 damage. So that's only 4 damage. Oh, you've only got 4 wounds left. That is that squad. That squad's finished. Then it's the big mech. I think he's only got 3 attacks though. You thinking about CPing it?
I'm thinking about CPing it, yeah.
Okay.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah? Good luck. Oh, it's got 2 wounds left. Right, okay. Big mech Bob will have to rip this up. He wants to take some of that tank home with him. 3 attacks with his claw on 4s. Just 1 hit. I need a 3. Do I want to command point that now? I'm thinking I need to command point that. Let's command point that. I get 2 hits and it's a 6. So I get an extra attack. Oh no, okay, so 2 in total. Alright, now I need 3s to wound him. 1 wound, 50-50 chance. 4-up invulnerable save or lose your Impulsor. The Impulsor holds! That's going to be 2 points because you're wholly within the centre. And then there's no explosions to worry about Blade Guard dying as they get out of there. I don't rip it open. Triple D.
Yeah?
I've forgotten assault. These boys are going to assault the bikes. Can we do that now?
Yeah, go on then.
Do you want Overwatch? There's 12 shots. Mind you, 3 wounds, 4 wounds, kill a couple. No, I don't think it will shape.
No.
But no. Right, see how far they go. Ooh, look at that. Right, a charge. I get in like this. Obviously, only the first 2 ranks of boys can fight. I could have clambered over and gone a bit further because of that 12-inch charge, but then I'd have been heroically intervened, and I don't want that kind of pain yet. You're going to charge me anyway, and getting you to hit me for free this turn and then hit me again in your turn, I didn't need that. No one needs that kind of bother. So there's my big chopper. There's a big chopper in this squad of boys. He hits on 3s, and there's a smacker, smacker, smacker. So I hit 3 times. He will wound your bikers, strength 7, on 3s, at -1/2 damage. And you're fine. Then there's 11 boys who can now fight. Now boys have 2 attacks, +1 for the slugger chopper, 3 attacks, +1 because of the size of the squad. This is 44 attacks coming in. And after rolling a hit and exploding dice, not many. 5s to wound, this is the tricky part. 10 saves coming up. How many wounds do they have each?
4.
So I kill 1. Woohoo! Now, Outriders get extra attacks when they charge, but when they get charged, the base guy's got 2 attacks, +1 for Shock Assault. Shock Assault's still a thing, +1 for the Chainsword. So 4 and 5 attacks here, 9 attacks coming back.
Rerolling 1s for the captain.
Oh yeah, that guy. 3s to hit. You don't need any rerolls. They're very, very angry. And these 6s are auto hits. Auto wound?
Yep.
Because they're duelists.
Duelists.
Yep, okay. And wow. And these are all AP -1.
Yep, with chainswords, yes.
You just wiped out 8 dudes. And at the end of the assault phase, it looks like this. The Outriders can't fail morale, but neither can I. I've got a morale of 22 right now. So that is the end of Orcs turn 2. Now, interestingly enough, what I've done is I've stayed within 3 inches of that objective there and managed to charge to this side of the battle grid. So I'm in this quarter, that quarter, that quarter, and this truck is in this quarter, so I'm in all 3 quarters for my engage on all fronts thing. And I've actually pushed up onto 3 of the objectives. So at the start of the Space Marines turn, they're only going to get 5 points for the primary over here. But my big swarm of boys are exposed to a counter charge. The Impulsor didn't die. A Dreadnought is about to come on, and my looters are exposed to a counter charge over here. Though it does look like I've got a lot of boys here, they all only have a 6-up save. This flank could collapse very easily. There are some troops hiding behind the trees that could run around and get onto that objective there after the hammer falls from this spaceship up above. So this game is still a long way from over as we move on to Space Marines turn 3. Here we are in the Space Marines command phase. Fire from the sky lands down from the ship up above. On a 2-up, it hits this unit. Well, it hits this unit automatically, but on a 2-up, what did you get?
On a 6.
On a 2 to 5, it does D3 mortal wounds, and on a 6, it does D6 mortal wounds.
Another 6.
Okay. One of these guys goes... I don't know if they blow up. Let's find out if I roll 3 6s in a row. No. I think they have 5 wounds each. I think you've killed one and put a wound on another. We'll figure it out. And then again, this is a 2 to 5. It does D3 mortal wounds, and on a 6 it does. But if you're within 3 inches, it does it. It's on a 2. Yeah, it's a +1. So that's why I moved away. Oh no! So the boys take D6 mortal wounds. Oh, only 1. Unfortunately, you can't command point re-roll that. One more thing before we start moving. You've got 3 more points. 1 for Oath of Duty, 2 for Oaths of something, Oath of Valor.
Honor.
Because you didn't fall back or fail any morale during that battle round. And you have a vehicle wholly within, where you have an Astartes unit wholly within the centre at the end of that battle round. At the end of the last battle round. So you got another 3 points for your secondaries there. Completing your oaths, following the Codex Astartes. Now let's go on to the movement phase. Here we are after the Space Marines movement phase. It's 17 to 24 in favour of the Space Marines. We're double checking, triple checking the rules. You're winning. Just by 17 to 24. So you're winning by 7 points. But that's after the start of your turn 3 before my turn 3. So it's a lot closer than I thought it was. In the end, you haven't brought the Dreadnought over on this side. What you decided to do is the jumpy dudes are going to probably annihilate the looters. And these guys are moving forward with their heavy weapons, but you're in reroll range with your captain there. And it looks like the Blade Guard veterans who disembarked before the Impulsor moves. It can only move 4 when it's on 2 wounds. It looks like they're ready to go charging in. And he kept your Outriders in close combat.
Yep.
And your shooty las fusel guys are going to go in. And I said, what are you doing? What are you, the shooty ones, what are you doing with these? And he said, well, they've still got 10 attacks between them anyway with a shock assault. So that's a lot of attacks going in. Your infiltrators,
Yep.
They ran. And you've got +1 to your move and charge and an advance. So it was -2 going through all this terrain, but you rolled a fat 6. And they ran all the way around here onto that objective, because remember the Space Marines, one of their secondaries is if they take an objective that was previously controlled by the Orks, they get a flat 3 points. So if these Orks which are in range of that objective aren't there at the end of this turn, they've taken an objective from me. It does leave them exposed to the killer cans, which is why your Dreadnoughts come on here.
Yep.
And he's going to unload into the killer cans. That would be a -2 to his charge going through the trees there, but +1 because of your chapter traits. So it's a potential charge, unless of course I pull this one away. And then it gives me some interesting options. Do I bother to go back for that thing? I'll have to deal with that thing because there's a Dreadnought in my back lines. Or do I move forward on to take on the troops? If I don't deal with the Dreadnought and deal with the troops, then the Dreadnought is going to deal with me. If I deal with the Dreadnought, then it stops dealing with me, keeps my It's interesting choices. It's interesting choices. I like it. It's they're pushing forward. They're being aggressive. They know no fear as we move on to the Space Marines. Shooting phase. Oh, and the other thing we checked as well, that orbital bombardment, it does say once per battle. You can only do it once. So you can't rain it from the sky again and again and again, which would have been glorious. But you can't. So now let's shoot some guns. Right, we're starting off with the jumpy dudes. Plasma exterminators are assault D3, but they're blast weapons. So if you're shooting at a squad that has more than 10 models, such as these looters, it has the maximum number of shots. So each assault D3 has a maximum of 3 shots, which means each guy is chucking out 6 shots. 6 times 5 is 30 shots coming in at the looters. And you're switching to the assault doctrine right now, not staying in tactical.
Yep.
So, 3s to hit. You don't need to overcook them. And you are re-rolling 1s, because your captain stood right there yelling at them. 21 hits with the re-rolls, 3s to kill. And we got there's 13. There's 1 looter left. So 1 looter continues to cower in the trees, covered in green goo. Then we did some bolter fire over here. 1 wound was put onto one of the nobles. And now we have crack grenades coming out from the characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 from the captain, 1 from the Blade Guard Ancient, and 1 from the Blade Guard squad.
Sweet.
So we'll do the 1 from the squad because that gets the rerolls because it's a core unit.
Yep. It hits.
And then the other 2, which don't reroll but still hit on 2s.
Nice. And hitting on 2s because of the banner, or they naturally hit on 2s. It's crack grenades, so they're wounding on 2s. 6s, what are we doing?
Strength 6.
Strength 6?
Yeah.
What are the strength? 8.
No, the grenades are 6. The
What am
missiles
I, it's the mates. Yeah, crack missiles are strength 8. Yeah. 3s to wound. What's the AP?
-1.
5s? No.
D3 damage.
Okay, well,
So
1's
kills
wounded,
1.
1's dead. 2 are dead. Grenades explode, 2 of the knobs die. Next up, Las Fusels firing in to try and take the last couple of wounds off the Bone Breaker. 4s to hit because they're heavy and you're moved. Rerolling 1s, they're a core unit. Only 1 hit. Strength 8, toughness 8. It wounds! I don't get a save, mate. He's invulnerable. I know, his invulnerable's there.
Still got a
He's right
5
there. It's got 5 up. Do I want to command point that? Because this is D6 damage. Was it flat 3?
Flat 3.
And it's got 1 4 wounds left. Because right now it's still... Yeah, my gut's saying command point it. I command point it. He's fine. Now going on to the Intercessors with the Stalker Pattern Bolt Rifles, which do 2 wounds. Knobs of 2 wounds. But you're putting 6 into the knobs and 4 into that looter there. Because right now I'm going to get 5 points for being on that. Plus an extra 2 points for my secondary. You need him dead.
I need him dead.
You need him dead. So 4 into him. 4's to hit because you moved. But you can reroll 1s because your captain's there. 1 hit the floor. Oh no. The Emperor did not guide your aim, my friend. He might still firm morale. That was bad. 4's to the knob. 4's to the knob. 4 hits. 4 hits. And strength 4, toughness 4. 4's to wound. Nice. Right, this is -2 damage. Knobs have a 4 up save, so I need to make 6s or I lose knobs. I lose 4 knobs. So the looters are wiped out. The knobs are down to only 4 models left, and now we're across here to the Redempted Dreadnought, unloading on the killer cans. Right, the guns for the Redempted Dread have changed a little bit. Where are we starting, sir?
We'll start with the Icarus Rocket Pod.
Okay.
Which does D3 shots.
Yes. 2 shots. And it's hitting on 3s because it's a vehicle and you moved, so you don't suffer the heavy. And also it used to be -1 to hit if you weren't shooting at flyers, but it's lost that now. It's just a +1 to hit if you shoot at flyers and no minuses if you hit anything else. So 3s to hit. Strength 7? Still strength 7?
Yeah.
Strength 7?
-1 AP.
Okay,
2 damage.
so well, now you need a wound. That was the hit. It does a wound. Okay. Storm bolters? Have you got storm bolters?
I have got storm bolters.
Now, dreadnoughts have lost bolter discipline.
Yep.
But you're still in 12-inch range anyway.
Yeah.
So
8 shots.
yes. 3s to hit.
That's better.
That's everything here. 5s to wound though. Rep saves. I'm fine. Heavy onslaught Gatling cannon is 12 shots, but it's gone up to strength 6. 3s to hit. 3s to wound. AP -1. Well, that could have been better. 4s. I lose 2 wounds, and then the baby Gatling cannon, which is 6 shots, is still strength 5.
It's gone up to 8 shots.
What?
It's gone up to
Has
8
it?
shots. Yeah.
The underslung gun, that's nice. 8 shots, brilliant. 3s to hit. Not so good. 5s to wound.
5 force?
Yeah, it's strength 5, toughness 5. Oh.
Nothing.
So in the end, you only need 2 wounds on the killer cannons after hyping it up that much. Okay, that is the end of the shooting phase. We have some charges coming up. The Impulsor can't shoot because it fell back out of combat unless you want to spend a CP. But it's going to be hitting on 5s now because it's so injured. So the Blade Guard are charging my Orks. Rolling the charge. They're in. And the Blade Guard make it there. Now the Captain is declaring Big Mech Bob and the Knobs. And he gets a reroll because he's got the Imperium Sword Warlord trait. And I think we said you needed a 6, even with your +1.
That was just enough. Yeah, he's just under 6 away.
Just under 6?
Yeah.
So you make it in. It's fine with a +1. It's good. Because engagement range to Big Mech Bob is 1 inch horizontally, 5 inches vertically. So you have engaged both of those squads there. So you're good. Banner?
He's going to charge the boys.
Is he? Nice. Well, he's in because you've got an extra inch to your charges and advances. You were measuring up with the jumpy dudes against that looter over there.
I was, yeah.
How far is that with your
We're going to
+1?
give it a go. With the +1, I need a 10.
Okay, good luck. No, negative. And the Dreadnought, I'm not overwatching as you can tell. This is what 10 inches because you're going through the cover.
Yeah.
You've got to re-roll both of them if you want to. You have 3 command points left. Yeah. 8. Dreadnought fails the charge. Then we came back round here. The Eliminators went in. Lieutenant went in. So basically we had charges. 5 charging units crashing into the central thrust of the Greenskins. Right, so picking units to start with. You're starting with the Blade Guard veterans because your Warlord, you think he can take it when Big Mech Bob hits him back with a Power Claw. Remember, he's got a 4-up shrug as well as his 4-up invulnerable save. A unit of 3 Blade Guard veterans has 13 attacks on the charge. They're hitting on 2s because they're in range of the banner. And they reroll 1s because they're a core unit in range of the Captain. And everything hits! It's strength 5.
They're auto wounds because of duelists.
Auto wounds.
Because of the chaplain tactics.
Yeah, and these are strength 5, -3/2 damage. I won't get a save. Brilliant. So, they're dead. You would have killed a full squad of nobles. They get wiped out.
Everybody's dead, Bob.
The Blade Guards slaughter their way through my Orc nobles, consolidate forward up the field. And then I'm going to pay some CP to interrupt with the boys. And I've piled in. These guys are going to attack the Lieutenant. And I'm aiming for the Lieutenant because I've got Assassinate. And I've still got over 20 boys in that squad. 21 boys, in fact. So I've got +1 attack. So these are 32 attacks. Hitting the Lieutenant. 6s explode. 4s to wound. 12 3-up saves. He's got 5 wounds. And now he's got 2 left. He hangs in there. So that's that swarm. And then all of these guys, because I've only got a couple that can hit the Blade Guard Ancient, but they can all hit the bikes. All of these guys are going to hit the bikes. Starting off with my big chopper bro, hitting on 3s. There's an exploding dice. And wounding on 3s. And then -1, 2 damage. So 4-up saves. Right, mini attacks coming in hot. 3s and 6s explode again. After the smacker rolls, I got a bajillion hits, but it's 5s to wound that are troubling me. 11 3-up saves. Please die. Did I kill a bike?
You killed 1.
I killed a bike. Blade Guard Ancient, 5 attacks on the charge.
5 attacks on the charge.
Yep.
Hitting on 2s because he is a Blade Guard.
Yep.
He's
Rerolling once.
still within 9 inches of the Captain.
Yep.
Everything hit.
4s to wound. The Assault Doctrine is an effect, so that's AP -1. So 2 die. 4 for the Outrider Sergeant. He didn't charge, but I can't interrupt anymore. So 1 auto wound. And, just 1 more. He kills 1 more. Where do we go next?
Eliminators.
3s. 6s auto wound. They're out of reroll range. And that'll kill 4 more. Now Lieutenant Cal steps forward on 2s. No re-rolls. And 4s?
Pause.
And he
You roll
takes
one.
out, oh yeah, of course. He takes out 2 more. So 9 orcs have died in this scrum here. This is what it looks like. I've made sure I'm still engaging the Eliminators in the bike. Now we come across to Captain Janus Dark. 5 attacks, +1 for Shock Assault, +1 for Imperium Sword, 7 attacks. He hits on 2s, but no re-rolling 1s now. And there's 2 1s. Mastercrafted Power Sword. Oh, that's an auto wound. Yeah, these are wound on 3s. So in the end, only 3 wounds. And it's -3 to damage.
Yeah.
So -3, I have a, I'm a big mech, so I have a 5-up save. And I make 2 of them. And then it does 2 wounds. And I got a super cyborg body that I made myself.
Nice.
But I still take 2 wounds. But I'm not dead. So now I can crump the Yumi. Right, he's got 3 attacks back, but you're paying 1 CP for transhuman physiology, which you can do on Primaris units. It's 1 CP if the unit is less than 5, and 2 CP if it's more than 5. And this unit, the Waagh Captain, is definitely less than 5 models. So transhuman in effect, I hit on 4s, and I miss every single time. Transhuman would have ignored the wounds on 1, 2, 3s. And I am strength 10. That is the end of the fight phase. That is the end of the everything there. I lost 9 boys. My leadership is currently, I should have 12 left there, or how many? I want to count. 12. 12 left. 5 plus 9 is a failed save. So I lose 1 more. Combat attrition kicks in on 1s and 2s. I lose extra models. And so at the very end, it looks like this. My squad hasn't been wiped out. But you do outnumber me with models that are more than 3 inches away from that center objective, so you have stolen it off of me. So that'll be +3 points at the end of your turn for that secondary objective you have, and you'll stop me getting it at the start of my turn. But I have 3 CPs left. Now, I can spend 2 CPs to keep this heroic guy alive here. But if I do spend those 2 CPs, then I don't have 3 CPs to recycle my blob back in, because there's a 3 CP stratagem, Unstoppable Green Tide, bring a whole unit of troops back in. So, but that is worth 5, 10 points to me right now, plus 2 points for being on that central objective in my command phase. So that's worth 12 points. And a unit of boys, I need to think. 12 points or 5 points. But next turn, I can probably stop you taking that with the killer cans. You could jump onto that, but I've got troops back there. So I could stop you taking that. And I could stop you taking this as well if I put 30 boys back here to charge you. Which means you won't get any. So I think the thing to do is to spend 3 CPs to recycle these guys. Of course, I've got to make a 9-inch re-rollable charge. Yeah, yes, that's what I'm going to do. Because on a 1, he might stay anyway. Insane bravery. Let's find out how insane that orc is. It's a 2. He flees. And so at the end of Space Marine's turn 3, it's 28 points to 17. I'm only going to get 5 points for that objective down there, making it 28 points to 22. But the plan is to stop Triple D, stop these Space Marines scoring any more points next turn. 1 minute. I do have a morale on the killer cans as well. Their leadership 6. 5 plus 1 is 6. They do manage to hold. So right, now let's go on to Orcs. Turn 3. Alright, so the boys are losing on points. Operation Take as many points away from the Space Marines is in effect. Truck in that table quarter. The unit that was down there have been recycled on. Unstoppable Green Tide are there ready to charge and take that back objective. And the shooter boys and the grots have run up to take this central objective here, which gives your jumpy dudes some interesting options. Do they shoot that way? Do they shoot this way? What do they do? Do they protect that objective or this objective? I don't think they can protect both. The Bone Breaker move round a little bit, because one of these booster blasters can see through over the top of that thing and hit them. The other one can't see them. It can only hit the Blade Guard or further down. And then the killer cans are moving in for the kill. Now, I've got a cunning plan. It's called the jump on Weird Boy Will. I need a 7. That works, and in he perils. And he disappears from here all the way over there. Because now I've got orcs in every single table quarter. See that? That's cunning. And next up, he's going to smite. Because they might have invulnerable saves, but they can't dodge a mind bullet. And that's a mind bullet. And D3. It only does 1 wound. Blade Guard veterans have 3 wounds each?
Yep, 3 wounds.
Okay, right. They can dodge that then. They dodged the mind bullet. It's got a slight headache. Okay, so custom booster blaster number 1. Shooting at these dudes down here. 7 shots. Are you doing that stratagem thing that you were thinking about doing? -2,
no,
2 damage.
It's,
You're not?
It only works on single damage weapons.
Okay, alright. Because there is a, what is it? Any single damage weapons, they get +1 to their armor save if they're Gravis.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a 2-up save for Gravis dudes for damage 1 stuff, which is just absolutely fruity. Anyway, this number of shots, there's a Daka. So 4 shots. I'm strength 7, your toughness 5. I'm winning on 3s. And it's AP -2, 2 damage. So 3 5-up saves on your jumpy dudes. So 1 dies, 1 takes 2 wounds. So the truck will try and shoot in. Daka. Winning on a 4. Doesn't wound. 1 is on 1 wound. These boys advanced, but their weapons are assault weapons. So 6s. Look at all the 6s! Which explode. And these wound on 5s. 2 3-up saves. I killed 1 more. And there were some shots from the pistols in the back. Didn't really do anything. That's the shots from this side of the battle grid. 1 custom booster blaster is fired. The second one is going to fire into the Blade Guard veterans. And I hit on 5s. And 6s explode. That's really good shooting. I wound on 3s. Oh, that isn't. And they're AP -2, which become AP -1 because of Storm Shields. So 4-up saves. Each doing 2 damage. 1 is on 2 wounds because he had a headache. Nice. This is working. I feel something working. On to the Bone Breaker. I dig the big shooters into these dudes over here. Didn't do any damage. Now the kill cannon. I'm going to shoot your jumpy dudes. D6 shots for 3 shots. 5s to hit. I miss. And the last thing left to fire is the kill cans over here. I'm going to go charging into this unit, but I need to weaken them up before I do so. So I've got actually 2 Scorchers in that squad, which auto hit D6 times. And they're like heavy flamers. They're strength 5 -1. So 6 4-up saves on the infiltrators. who have infiltrated my objective. I take out one of them. And you have a Helix Adept in that squad. New rule for the Helix Adept. The first time you take any damage, you take that damage result down to 0.
Yep.
So of those 3 damage, 1 of them was negated. So 2 damage and 1 is removed as a casualty. There's 2 rockets there as well. These hit on 4s because I'm a... Oh. And then the big shooter. 1 hit. No wounds. That's it for my shooting phase. I killed a couple of dudes here. I killed a dude here. I killed a dude here. A pitter-patter of firepower from the Orks. Now we're going to do some charges. I'm going to start off with my Bone Breaker into the Blade Guard vets, what they like to Overwatch.
Nope.
I make the charge. Now we are charging with the boys over there into them. Would you like to Overwatch?
No.
There's 9-inch rerollable charge, and this is for all the points. That's a 7. I can reroll any one of the dice, being an orc. So 50-50 chance. They fail to get in. That is going to be painful. But the killer cans, they're definitely going to make it in. Right? Yes. I spent a lot of points on that. I didn't come out, but I spent a lot of points. It's okay. It's okay. I've still got troops causing you problems. I didn't get you off that objective. Now let's fight. Bone Breaker is degraded, so it's got D6 attacks, but it gets an extra D6 attacks on the turn it charges with the Death Roller. So this is 2 D6 attacks. And it hits on 2s. It's +3 to its hit roll when it charges. It's a big roller. So it hits, that's cocked. It hits 6 times. It's strength 7 right now, so I'm wounding on 3s. And it is -2 damage. So that becomes -1 2 damage. So 4 up saves on your Blade Guard veterans, sir. And they lock their shields together and stop the truck in its tracks. Are you paying to interrupt, sir?
No.
No, okay. Oh, you've only got 1 CP left. So killer cans have 3 attacks each. If the unit contains more than 3 models, they get an extra attack, 4 attacks each. And the buzzsaws in there, and there's 3 of them, have another extra attack each. So the 3 killer cans with buzzsaws have 15 attacks. But I'm a grot, I hit on 5s. Strength 7 -2 2 damage, 3 to wound. So 4 5-up saves on your infiltrator dudes. 5s. 3 of them get wiped out. And then the 8 attacks with the can claws on 5s. I get 2 hits. These are strength 8, 2s to wound. And then -3 damage. So 2 6s. No 6s. Then the infiltrators fought back and did 6 wounds back because of your auto wounding on 6s. They're -1. Oh, -1 I was going to say. I have a 3-up save, so I only take 1 damage. So that one that is on 2 wounds is down at 1 wound. Then you have a morale test. You lost 5 dudes. Leadership 8. And you pass. I was about to say this is a good time to show that "and they shall know no fear" has changed. Because "and they shall know no fear" is not a reroll anymore. What it is combat attrition does not kick in. So you only lose models on 1s, not 1s and 2s. And that is the end of Orcs turn 3. I didn't assassinate anything. I'm not on any of those in my command phase. But I am in 4 quarters of the battle grid. I will get 3 points for engage on all fronts. And the plan was to push the Space Marines off as many objectives as I possibly can. They were on 2 objectives. They're still on 2 objectives. So in their turn, they're going to get 10 points for being on the primaries. They're not on more than me right now, 10 points for the primaries. And they will get, oh no, you haven't got that vital ground objective. So you get 10 points for the primaries. So at the start of turn 4, it'll be 38-30 in favour of the Space Marines after their command phase. So the Orcs will be trailing by 8 points. 1 minute. Blade Guard vets need to fight back. They've got 9 attacks. 3s, rerolling 1s, and 6s auto wound because of that crazy good strat that you've got. Now you need 5s to wound it. You're AP -4 right now. You're going to kill my Bone Breaker, which will explode on a 6. It doesn't explode. And you take out a vehicle, which means that you get a point during the assault thing. Oh, and the other thing we forgot to add on points-wise is you'll get +2. We didn't do this fight either. Yes, we got so excited we forgot the fight between the Warlords here. Defender goes first, so 5 attacks because it isn't the charge phase with your Warlord. He hits on 2s and he will wound on 3s. That not being able to reroll 1 is a pain, isn't it?
Makes a big difference.
Makes a big difference. So he wounds twice. I need to make 2 5-up saves. I make 2 5-up saves. I crump you back again, Yumi. Not enough points to spend on your stuff. 4s? And that's 2 more hits with smacker, smacker, smacker. You broke his Bone Breaker. He's really mad now. Strength 10. I wound you twice. 2 4-up and vulnerable saves. You fail 1, D3 damage. It's a relic shield, so you ignore wounds on a 4-up.
That's mortal wounds.
Mortal wounds?
Yeah, only mortal wounds.
So he takes 3 wounds?
He takes 3 wounds.
So he's got 6 left? Yeah. Starts with 6, he's got 3 left. They're on 3 left each. They're battling each other out. So now that is the end of Orcs turn 3. You get extra points for your oaths for killing stuff in close combat. You do have a unit wholly within 6 inches of the centre at the end of the battle round. So we got you up to 42 points?
43.
43 points. So you've got a few more points in it. Now let's find out what Space Marines do in turn 4. Right, here we are after the Space Marines movement phase. The Impulsor advancing this way. Why is he advancing this way?
It's just going to provide a bit of support for the Intercessors.
Okay, and they're stood still. Jumpy dude over there. Your Warlord is refusing to back down from the fight. Just as I refuse it. Whoa, I refuse to back down from you. You're in trouble there, mate. The Banner stepping forward. The Blade Guard veterans and the last Outrider stepping forward. And why are you not breaking out of combat? I will fight first. Defenders fight first.
I get points for not falling back.
Oh yeah, one of your oaths. You cannot fall back or fail morale. And the Lieutenant stepped up here to take shots at Weird Boy Will. Now, movement phase, shooting phase. We looked at the Dreadnought. Now, the Dreadnought can't shoot into combat here. That's a ruin. He can't shoot through there. And he's out of range of Weird Boy Will. So your Dreadnought can't shoot.
No.
So instead, we're coming all the way over here to the Intercessors that stood still. And they're going to unload into these guys?
Yep.
Okay. Many shots, 10 shots.
We'll do one grenade launcher.
And a grenade launcher. Okay, 9 shots. Hitting on 3s. And killing on 4s. That's an impressive
8.
array of... Yeah, that was painful. Then the grenade launcher. It blasts. So 6 shots hitting on 3s. And you need 5s to wound. That's a good shooting. See, the dice come back round.
They even out over a game, don't they?
Yeah. 3 wounds with the strength 3 weapon. And he killed 3 more. So many boys died here, taking them down below the magic number so they lose their +1 attack. Now we come on to the jumpy dudes with their blast weapons. This squad of boys is more than 10. There's 12 in there. 6 shots each. 18 shots. Hitting on 4s because they're firing into trees. 7 hits, but they're killing on 3s. They kill not as good as the... Yeah, 5. Then we came round this side of the table and Weird Boy Whooshpang has disappeared. We had grenades and pistols coming in. He didn't have a save against any of that. He has been wiped out rather easily. Now we have las fusils lining up this booster blaster, which will hit on 3s. And only 1 hit. It'll wound on a 3. I don't get a save. Takes 3 wounds. It's still got 5 left. And the last thing left to fire is the mastercrafted Instigator Bolt Carbine by Lieutenant Kell there, threading the needle, trying to get on Weird Boy Will. Primaris Lieutenants hit on 2s now when they shoot. He hits. And he can reroll once to wound. No, he's not core. He's, for some reason, a Lieutenant is not core. So fails to wound. 1 minute. We found pistols. Pistols into close combat. The infiltrators round here. And they caused a wound, and it's -1 because the assault doctrine is in effect. And one of these dudes is on 1 wound. But he manages to make the save. So, charge. Snake Eyes will fail here. I'm not overwatching. And, oh, you've got ACP left because you've gained 1 back this turn. Yep, they're in. The jumpy dudes are in. Jumpy dudes end up here. Now we're coming to the Dreadnought. You've got +1 to your charge, but you are in terrain, so -2, so -1. It's an 8-inch charge. 8-inch charge for your Dread to get into the killer cans. Oh yes, he makes it. He's angry. And the Dreadnought gets there. Now the Outrider is just charging the closest booster blaster. And he makes it in, and the Blade Guard vets are going to charge both. And they engage both. And it's not over. The Ancient is going to charge Bob. And he gets in as well. Now, interestingly enough, apart from that squad down there and the truck and these Gretchen, every single Ork unit is now engaged in furious hand-to-hand combat with the Astartes. So we're going to start with the Redempted Dread. He's got 5 attacks on the charge. And he hits on 3s. And those are automatic wounds. He's strength 14. So, oh, okay. Those automatic. So there's 3 wounds. Now it's -3. And it's D3 +3 damage each time. So I need to make some 6s. I make 1 6. So the first killer can dies. And then it's D3 +3 on the second killer can. And wipes out 2 killer cans. I don't know if they explode, but I'm going to roll anyway. They don't explode, even if they did. And it looks like this. Now the Ancient hitting Big Mech Bob. 5 attacks. Pause to wound. 3 wounds.
Yeah.
And -1 because of the assault doctrine. I need 3s. I fail 1. Cyborg body. He's fine. Bob's fine. Everyone knows Bob would be okay. Where we go next, sir?
Over to the Intercessors.
3 attacks each. That's 9 attacks plus 1 for the sergeant. 10 attacks plus shock assault. 13 attacks. They don't get impact hits anymore unless you spend it on the strats. So 13 attacks. Hitting on 3s. 1 auto wound. The rest is wounding on 4s. 4 6-up saves. You kill 4 more. There's not very many left. 3 left. Then we came over here to the Outrider Sergeant. Didn't manage to wound the Booster Blaster 5s to wound. Maybe the vets can do some more bother. Are you going to put them both into that? Or both into that? Or 1 each?
They'll go both into the wounded one.
Both into the wounded one. Okay. A gazillion attacks. 3s to hit. That's 2 auto wounds, which are nasty on Blade Guard vets, that little strat there. Auto wounded is good. I like it. These are wounding on your strength 5?
Strength 5,
yeah. Toughness 6, so wounding on 5s. These guys will do quite well against knights, you know.
Yeah.
And these are AP -4, 2 damage each. Because of the assault doctrine. Does it blow? It does blow. It does D3 mortal wounds. D3 mortal wounds on your Outrider.
Ow.
1. D3 mortal wounds on the vets. 2. And if you want to do D3 mortal wounds to my Booster Blaster, it's on 5 left. And it looks like this. That's it for the charging models. So Bob is going to punch your Warlord to death on 4s. I hit once, but it explodes. Smacker, smacker, smacker. He hits twice. He's angry. You killed his Bonebreaker. We talked about this. 2s to wound. 2 wounds, 2 4-up invulnerable saves. Have it at you, sir. You make them both. Target acquired. Then we went with the Infiltrators, put 2 wounds on the Killer Cans. Now I don't have more than 3 models, so I don't get my extra attacks. The Kill Saws do, but I hit on 5s. 2 hits, and they don't get smacker smacker. Wound on 3s. That's a 5-up save, or 1 dies. 1 dies. And then the claw misses. Then back to the main event. Captain Dark. 5 attacks. 2s to hit. Look at those ones that you used to be able to reroll. 1 auto wound. And a 3-up on this one. Just 1 auto wound. 5-up save. And make my 5-up save. They continue to battle each other to the death. After the fight in the middle, we went to the Booster Blaster. I rolled off camera because I thought there's no way I could kill a 2-up save Blade Guard veteran, and I killed a 2-up save Blade Guard veteran, which is huge, by the way. Absolutely huge, because they're now contesting that objective there. And then we come back here to my dudes, my shooter dudes, fighting the jumpy dudes. There is a guy with a kill saw, which is unwieldy, so it's 4s to hit. Only 1 hit, but he is strength 10. He does wound. That is -4, 2 damage. So one of them is down to 1 wound. And then we have the remainder shooter boys, which hit once and don't wound. And that is the end of Space Marine's turn 4. I have a leadership test with my Killer Cans. 5 plus 2 is 7. Their leadership 6. One of them will run away. And then over here, I need a 1 to pass. And I fail on 1 more runs away. And then on a 1-2... I've still got 2 guys left there, which is important because they're still in range of that objective, and their objective secured. I will secure it. That makes me happy. So tying up the points at the end of turn 4, the Space Marines will be on 45 points. At the start of turn 4 for the Orks, I'll get 7 points for that objective there. 5 for the primary, 2 for the secondary, and that's it, because I didn't shove any Space Marines off any of the other objectives. So 45 points to 37. At the start of Orks turn 4. It's still all to play for. Here we are after the Orks movement phase. There's no point in breaking out of close combat here with the Killer Cans, because where am I going to go? The same with the Booster Blaster over here. Might as well stay locked up. I have the opportunity potentially of hurting him first. Potentially. It's about that objective over there and that objective over there. That's what it's about to me, and whether Big Mac Bob manages to kill your Warlord, the Space Marine Warlord. Another person who could potentially slay a character is Weird Boy Will. he stepped forward, and your lieutenant is in smite range. So let's smite.
Oh!
And let's pen one of the command points that I have back up to 2 to re-roll that. Okay, that passes. He's got 2 wounds left, right?
Yeah.
This does D3 damage. Ah, no! He's on 1 wound left, and you'll probably hide him away, and that was my opportunity to get assassinate. Right, okay, so guns. These guys can't fire. This guy can't fire. Oh, I ran the grots round, because I've got 2 orcs still in combat with your jumpy dudes. So after your jumpy dudes kill them, I'll still have a troops choice on that objective there at the end of the next battle round. That's the plan anyway. The only thing that can really fire then is all of those boys into your intercessors. And I killed 2, which was very surprising. The truck in the corner joined in as well. Now we charge. Now I make the charge. And the orcs end up like that. This is 48 normal attacks plus the big chopper. Here's the big chopper hitting, 1 hit. It doesn't wound. I did 15 wounds, 15 threat saves. Oh, and there's a lot of 1s and 2s. Well, not many. How many 1s and 2s?
1 dead. 2.5 dead.
2.5 dead. And I killed shooting as well.
2 more.
That's the end of the charging units. Now you get to fight back. Captain Dark pulls out his Mastercrafted Power Sword one more time. Hits on 2s. Look at those 1s again. So the 6 is an auto wound, and these will wound on 3s. He wounds twice. I have 2 5-up saves. And Super Cyborg Body. Bob is down to 1 wound. And before your Ancient polishes him off, Bob is going to hit your captain and assassinate him on force. And 2s. Dodge that, Yumi. 4-up invulnerable saves. Is that 1? 1 failed save. No command points to reroll. D3 damage. All I need is a 5 or 6, and this is Slay the Warlord. And that's a 1. But I've got 1 CP left. So I can reroll a damage result. And it seems like the orky thing to do. And it's still 1 damage the Emperor protects. Then the Dreadnought punches the Killer Cans on 3s. And that's 3 auto wounds. And 2s. Okay, so I need to make 4 6s. The Killer Cans are not long for this world. I make 1 6. So D3 plus 3 damage on the first one. Kills 1. D3 plus 3. They're dead. And they don't explode. And you definitely have that objective. Then these 2 fought each other. Didn't wound each other. Then your dudes killed my last dudes over there. And then your Ancient did 3 auto wounds to Bob. And I failed the save. And Super Cyborg Body. And I failed that too. And Bob gets taken out. That's nasty. After Bob fell, then we did this fight over here. And he killed 9 of them. And now we're on to morale. I need a 1. I fail that. So 1 more flees. And there was 10. So that leaves 9 left. So 1s and 2s. So 5 in total plus, 4 plus the 1 is 5 more flee. But you have a leadership test to make as well.
Yep.
You lost 4.
That's a 4.
4 plus
is 8.
4 plus 4 is 8. You hold, which is interesting because you still outnumber me on that objective and I failed to take it off you. And so at the end of turn 4, it's 51 points to 42 in favour of the Space Marines. They keep racking up a couple of points for not falling back or failing morale, or for holding on to the centre of the board, or for killing stuff in the assault phase. These oaths keep racking up little points here, there and everywhere. And I've not been able to push them off these objectives. I'm not going to push them off of this one. They're going to be on that one. I'm only on 1, so in turn 5, they're going to get 5, 10 points, 15 points for being on more primary objectives than me. The Space Marines are running away with it, and I've got 5 dudes down here, a booster blaster locked up in close combat, some grots, and a truck. Let's go on to Space Marines turn 5. And here we are at the very end of turn 5 for the Space Marines. The truck is untouched, but these plasma shots just annihilated the grots down there, backed up by the Repulsor. These guys took out the Orks. They only have a 6-up t-shirt save. We have las cannon rounds, which blew up Will. I forgot to take him off. And then the last outrider joining into the custom booster blaster there. In fact, at the very end of that battle round, I have a truck left. And that's it. And there are Space Marines spread all across this battle grid. After a very, very poor first round of shooting, they managed to continually put the pressure down and push the Orks off and out of this encampment. And this is the way the world ends. Wow. After the first couple of turns, what happened there?
It got a lot better.
It suddenly got a lot better. What are your thoughts? Closing thoughts?
Yeah, really enjoyed the game. The new codex is nice. It feels balanced.
It feels more balanced. Yeah.
Certainly, they've toned some units down. There was still the potential, I thought, for the game to swing.
What about
until the last turn?
Captains not doing their re-rolls anymore? Those ones were stinging me.
It really hurt.
That was a big mech. He should have died earlier.
He should have died probably turn 1. Last time I used him with the old rules, he took out a Night Lord's Chaos Lord in a single round of combat.
Just boom, one hit.
Just that, done.
And that's Imperium Sword and all that.
It was swift and deadly at the time, so I had one less attack.
One of the things I've learned is that 6s to auto wound duelists against bikers and infantry is absolutely brutal. Because when the assault doctrine is in effect, it hurts.
Yeah, I mean, I picked it because it's narrative for my list, and the sort of the method of the chapter to be sort of springing ambushes and really sort of pushing the skills with swords and blades.
Yeah.
But in the game, it's really effective.
Yeah.
Just
it is
not
very
having
effective.
to roll those dice.
Blade Guard veterans are effective as well. They seem to be doing the business.
Yeah. Again, they're a great unit if you get the charge off with them. If the enemy hits first, they can be a little bit fragile. I lost them to some obliterators in the last game, but in combat that is. But generally speaking, they do the choppy chop.
Yeah.
That needs doing.
I think what I also discovered, so the new codex has got some tweaks here or there to the general rules, and that's the thing that kept tripping us up, because we were in the book and in the book and in the book, making sure that we were getting all the rules right wherever we could, because you can't just assume that this weapon for example, the Power Fist on the Redempted Dreadnought used to do D6 damage. Now it does D3 plus 3 damage, which is much better. So that's minimum 4. He does 4, 5 or 6 damage when he punches stuff in close combat. And the standard onslaught Gatling cannon under his that's 8 shots now instead of 6 shots now. The big one's strength 6 instead of strength 5 now. So little tweaks like this exist throughout the entire codex. So you've got to be checking and double checking and triple checking every little thing.
Yeah, you can't afford to just rely on the knowledge that you've built up.
And those little tweaks here or there add up over the course of the game. The other thing that I quite liked that you demonstrated was using the 3 secondary objectives from the codex.
Yeah. We took them because we looked at them before the game and said, oh, it'd be nice to use sort of 1 or 2 of them.
And show what they do.
Let's use all 3.
Yeah. And the thing I found about them is because sometimes you take secondary objectives and you might get 3 points in a turn or 2 points in another turn, but the next couple of turns you won't get any from them. And those oath things and the points kept trickling in. You were getting 2, 3, 4, 5 points a turn every turn. It's trickling in and trickling in and trickling in.
The Oaths of Moment and the Codex Warfare was really good. Shock Tactics was a little less so. I mean, we talked about it before the game. We thought it was going to be really good.
But it was the other way around.
But in some respects, it requires your opponent to take the objectives first so that you can push them off.
Yeah, otherwise
so you have to hold back a bit.
Yeah.
And then push them off the objectives to get the points. It didn't come in as much in this game as potentially it could against other armies. But because I got on the objectives early, you weren't holding them, so I couldn't push you off them.
Yeah. And killing stuff in the tactical phase while with a tactical weapon turned out to be quite easy. Because there'd be a couple of guys over here. There's only 3 guys over there, or a couple of guys. So it's happening anyway.
Yeah.
And in the later turns of the game, while the assault phase is in effect, you are punching people with swords, with fists, with power fists. You are in close combat. You're a Space Marine.
Yeah, I like to play the game in that way, using all the possible elements of the army. I didn't really do much with the Devastator doctrine at the start because I got limited guns on the board and
because you missed everything.
Shocking.
You missed everything. If he was on, he could have potentially with heavy weapons killed something potentially.
Could have done something.
But
But again, when he's on the table at the start of the game, he tends to get targeted.
But I'm Orc.
Yeah, true.
No, that was glorious. I do like the table setup. I think that worked as well. I think I kind of trapped myself back there. I was thinking about it at the start. I should have put the faster stuff on the flanks. But in the end, the battle over the little corner down here, you won. The battle over the little corner down here, you won. Yeah. And my thrust up the middle, you won that as well.
I sort of stymied it by blocking the gap with the Impulsor for a turn, didn't I? And that sort of held everything up and stopped you really making the most of the units that you've got.
It did work. I'm very pleased about the new Space Marine Codex. There's lots of little tweaks, a lot of little interesting things in it. And I'll be very interested to see what other lists and what other shenanigans players can pull out of it going forward. So I want to thank you for coming down one more time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for supporting us at deploymentzone.tv. If anyone else wants more stuff from me, then come and join us at deploymentzone.tv. Or you can join the Discord by becoming a patron. Go to Patreon and type in DZTV and you'll find us there. You're in Discord. Triple D's in the Discord.
Yep,
it's a lovely hobby community. Everyone in the hobby community say hello to Triple D.
Food. Hi.
The food conversations, yeah. It is a safe space. It is a hobby space. We don't talk politics, religion, stuff like that. It is an escape from the real world, and I very much enjoy hanging out there. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that battle report. Happy wargaming.